I was in middle school and I met this girl and I had the biggest heart for her. We became best friends so quickly and we were like two peas in a pod, like nobody could separate us. And this girl at the time had been through so much in her life at such a young age, and she dealt with a lot of depression and so many other things just from her family and her background and just everything that she had been through. And I was one of her only friends, so I was there through it all to help her, just to be there for her to know that I loved her and that God loved her, and I still do to this day. And we were in the hallway one day after school because we would always stay to talk, and an emergency had happened and I needed to get her attention really quickly, but I realized she was having a bad day and she wouldn't pay attention to me when I was trying to talk to her. And I'm grabbing at her and I'm saying her name and I'm like, listen to me, like I have to talk to you, I need to tell you something. And I grabbed her backpack to turn her around to try to get her attention while she was talking to somebody else. And I guess by the end of that day she was just so fed up and overwhelmed and upset that she slapped me across the face in the middle of the hallway after school. Nobody's there, it's just us two and one other person she was talking to. And she realized it was me and was like, oh my goodness, like I'm sorry, like just overwhelmed by everything that had happened. She was just in shock, I guess you could say. And I was upset because I didn't know how to handle so much anger and so much pain that she had spun around to me, and not just from that hit, but just from that whole day and everything that was going on. She just directed it all towards me, and I know that it wasn't her intention and that she didn't mean to, but I had to take a step back and I'm like, okay, like that hurt first off, and it wasn't just physical, but it was just like so much pain. I felt heavy on my shoulders, and so I did something I probably shouldn't have done, but as a middle schooler, I just wanted to talk to someone. I wanted to get her the help that she needed because I knew I couldn't be everything that she needed me to be. I knew she needed more help than just one of her friends could give her. So I went to the office and I asked to speak with somebody, and I explained the situation to this person, and I told them what was happening and what I tried to do in detail and how much I cared about this person and how close of friends we were, but they already knew that. And that lady that I went to for help and for guidance and for instruction told me to leave her office and to go wait in the hall, which is what I did. And she called me back in about 10 minutes later, and she told me that she had checked the video cameras of the school that I was at where this situation, I guess you could call it, happened. And she starts questioning me. She's just like, why would you touch her like that? Why would you grab her like that? You dragged her down the hallway. Why do you think you should do that? Just all these overwhelming and false questions just bombarded me with it. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not what I did. I just wanted to help my friend. I was just trying to get her attention. I told you what I wanted her attention for, something that was so important, something that was an emergency. Why are you coming at me, and why are you looking at me and telling me that everything I did was wrong, or that I dragged her down the hallway, and all these crazy false claims? And she wouldn't allow me to speak to her anymore. And I just started to cry because I was so overwhelmed by the day and the situation, and this lady that I went to for guidance just making it all 10 times worse. And she looked at me and she said, You're gonna be suspended. Leave my office while I call your parents. And I understand that with some people, you wouldn't look at this situation as being necessarily racial profiling or picking on or whatever you want to think of it as, whatever you want to call it. But this is the same lady that told me I wasn't allowed to wear skirts anymore in her school because of the shape of my body. Even though every other girl that was there was perfectly fine with the way that they dressed and that they looked. Nobody else ever got in trouble, but it was always me getting picked on. You can't wear this. This is too short. This is too tight. The shape of your body, just your butt's too big. You can't do this. You can't do that. Just constantly weighing down on my shoulders. This is the same lady that I went to just in shock one day of the things that I was dealing with, and that proceeded to call social services instead of coming to me and talking to me and genuinely helping me like I expected her to. I feel like nowadays racial profiling is something that is happening constantly in front of our eyes, and we see it on the news. We see it when we're walking down the street. We have it happen to us, but we don't talk about it. We don't get the word out. We don't say, why is this happening? What's the problem? What's the issue? How can we fix this? Like, why is there so much hate and sadness and depression? Like, what's genuinely going on? And I feel like we all have to start somewhere. We have to start talking about it with our friends, or with our family, or with who it happens with. Like, for me now, I wish I could go to that lady and just say, what's the problem? Why was it always me? Why was something always wrong or different about me? Is it the color of my skin? Is it how you feel? What's wrong? I just want to go to her and I want to ask her, how can we fix this? And sometimes you just can't fix it. It's just something that's hate-ridden so deep inside some people, or just ignorance, pure ignorance of not knowing and not understanding that we all come from the exact same place. It's something that we have to pray about and say, God, it's completely in your hands. That's all we can do. But more than that, we just have to love. And we can't let it funnel through. We can't let history repeat itself. We have to show the love sometimes that we're not shown. We have to know how to be the stronger person, the bigger person, the more mature person, and the intelligent person.